Hello and welcome to Bears TV. My name is Ryan Nassau and I'm here with the Redker Bears' new 7th rider, Jake Allen. Jake, how are you?
Yeah, good mate. Just enjoying me quarantine.
So, you did have to withdraw from the United Kingdom. For people who aren't aware, at that time, back in January, why did you decide to pull out of British Speedway?
I wasn't made. I was sort of forced to make a decision whether I was coming or not. Weekend of 23rd of January, I think it was. By some people that wanted to get the show on the road with their club. So I had to make that decision whether to come to the UK or stay in Australia. And with the information that I was the information I had provided to myself and I spoke to my parents and all that sort of thing, we made the decision to just stay at home, and I used that decision pretty wisely. I think I got signed off on my trade not too long ago, so got all the important things done I wanted to get done. So here we are now.
Wonderful. So, if we said to you at the end of the season you would finish in the top 10 of the averages in the championship, would you take that, or are you striving for a higher position?
I think you always strive for more, mate. Obviously, top 10 is good, but as a racer, you never want to settle for top 10 or top 5. You always want to be the best. So hopefully, I'm inside that top 10 and towards the pointy end of that.
After you withdrew originally in January, did you still receive offers from clubs in the UK?
Not really. I still kept in contact with both clubs, obviously, and I have throughout the whole time I was at home to when I come back. So no, I didn't receive any other offers. It was just a lot of questions, really. Why aren't you coming? Is there a possibility of me coming back? This, that, and the other. But there was always a possibility, obviously, but I couldn't expect Scunthorpe and Ipswich to keep, spots open the whole time. So it is what it is at the end of the day.
Well, it's worked out in the Bears' favour. So, in my opinion, Redker and Scunthorpe have two of the best tracks in the country. What other similarities do you see between the two clubs?
They both have red on their race jackets. I don't know. I think the tracks are slightly different. They're good race tracks, obviously. I've not really ridden for Redcar as a home rider before, so I can only go off my dealings with them as guests, and they've always been good to me, always paid on time and all that sort of thing. And same as Rob and Gale at Scunthorpe, like they've done right by me from day dot till now. Like we have no hard feelings, and I've got a lot of respect for them both. They looked after my bikes and all my clothes, all the stuff out of my house the whole time I was in Australia. So I got nothing but good things to say about Scunthorpe and everyone there.
That's really good to hear. What areas do you believe you can improve on in 2021?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've raced a bike. I've only raced twice since the end of 3 times since the end of 2019. So I'd like to get better at my gating, be more consistent, because it's easier to win races from the front, but it doesn't always happen like that. And I always remember Crumpy telling me when I figure out how to gate, please tell him, because he's been a 3-time world champion and still hasn't figured out a consistent gating technique. So I'll always remember that from, I think I was about 16 when he told me that. So probably that master gating would be definitely up there.
It's always exciting to see people come from the back, though.
Yeah, definitely. It's always exciting to watch back too when you see like your videos on YouTube or the DVDs of racing or live streams and that. It's always good seeing someone carve through the field and make a few good passes.
Definitely. Joe Atkinson has asked, what is your favourite track to race on? I'm assuming in the United Kingdom.
I've always enjoyed Redcar. Bellevue's good. Ipswich is good too. I think Ipswich, if you're a home rider, is very good because a lot of away riders tend to struggle there. I don't know. I always enjoyed my time at Somerset. It was a really good racetrack for a couple of years, and then it sort of dwindled off towards the end. There's a lot of good racetracks here, and there's a few ones that aren't so good. There's a few that are fairly one-lined. Yeah, I wouldn't say I necessarily have a favorite. I probably have a track that I dislike most. Probably that's that's closer to Summon, but yeah, I like a lot of the tracks. I've been here for a fair few years now, so I'm confident that I can get around them all pretty well.
We had a question from Carol Blyer who asked, why did you choose Redker? And in brackets, she said she's really glad you did.
Well, it was the only offer I had because I think every other team was full, so I had no choice. But Redcar, isn't a bad offer to have if it's the only one, that's for sure.
Obviously, the Bears have put together what looks like a really strong side. What do you think of our two new recruits, Anders Rowe and James Sargent?
Well, I rode with James not last year, but the last season we had in 2019 at Ipswich, and yeah, he's good. Got on well. He was a key part for us at the end of the year there, same as when Neil's come in. So yeah, I think James is good, and same as Anders. I don't know too much about him, but yeah, he's a good young rider, and just needs to keep his head on straight, like all of us do when we're young, and not get carried away with it. And I'm sure he'll be a good rider.
Obviously, we know your love affair with our second or first favourite Aussie, Jordan Stewart. But how well do you know the rest of the Bears, Septet?
I rode with Tofty for a year at Scunny, my first year there, so I know him quite well and raced him obviously for a fair few years now. I don't know too many of the boys that well. No Charles, obviously. He's probably the first friend I made in England, well, racing wise. He was my teammate in my first year over here, and he helped me out a lot. So I can't thank him enough for that. And Geordie, yeah, I've known Geordie for a number of years now, and we lived together for a couple of years, which was good fun.
Well, we're hoping to see you ride well together this season. So, do you feel a lack of race meetings will affect a number of riders in the early part of this season?
I don't think so, no. I think everyone's going to be excited to get back racing and get back earning money, the way they want to, rather than having a 5-day-a-week job. So I think everyone will be ready and raring to go. They've had plenty of time to get practice in and all that sort of thing. Maybe a bit of race rust, I guess. Racecraft might not be there straight away, but if you're riding, if you're doubling up and doing 3 or 4 meetings a week, it's not going to take long to get that back.
Hopefully, with doubling up, are you still? I'm hoping you're still aiming to get a place in the Premiership at some point this season.
Yeah, mate. It might even be in the process now. Can't say anything, obviously, but yeah, I've been speaking to a couple of clubs, and it's looking good.
Well, that's good to hear. More meetings, the better. Do you feel that the Bears are definite playoff contenders and maybe even league title contenders?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the team they had last year was really good, and they were unlucky to come up short in that semi-final at Leicester. I think it was. I rode there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was the mean, but yeah, I think we were just unlucky that night. There was a few races we let slip up, and in the end, it ended up costing them a spot in the final. But we ran them pretty close at the home track, and we've got one of the better teams, I think, this year, compared to a few that are a bit top heavy. I saw the team sheet for Plymouth, and I think the top 2 riders, I think Crumpy's on a 12 and Bjarne's on a 10 point something. And I think the next rider's on a 4. So, they've gone real top heavy down there. And I think that's good if the bottom guys can, score over the average, because I don't think the top guys are going to be scoring, double figures every single week home and away. So, yeah, I think Redcar is good, have as good a chance as anyone.
Yeah, one guy called Jordan Stewart got overtaken on the line at Leicester, but still got the decision somehow.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's one of Geordie's favourite tracks there in Edinburgh.
On the subject of Edinburgh, they are our first 2 meetings this season. How do you find Armadale as a track?
Oh, it's awesome. I love it. No, it's all right. If you make a start, it's fine. It's like any other track, but it can get a bit hairy sometimes. If you're following guys and you're a little bit faster than them, you get pretty close to their back wheels. So gating is definitely important there. So I'll definitely be trying to do that.
Definitely. Before we go, do you have any message for the Bears fans who will hopefully be tuning into this?
Yeah, I can't wait to get started and meet a few new faces and hopefully win a lot of meetings and bring a trophy back. Trophy or 2 or 3 or however many are up for grabs. We want to win them all.
That's definitely the attitude. All right, I've been Ryan Nassau. This has been Jake Allen. Thank you very much for your time, Jake, and we'll catch you all later.